As you can probably see, my whiteboard's got a few smudges on today. I've just ordered another cleaner tomorrow, so hopefully I can get it looking a little bit more like a whiteboard. So today is on about breathing. So we have different aspects of breathing, so I want to go through a few of the different aspects and the reason why we do it. There's loads of stuff out there at the moment on the internet, and I wanted to explain a little bit more about what we do and how we incorporate the breathing into our methods of rehab. So when we look at breathing, we can look at various aspects, and the one that perhaps comes to mind is biomechanics. So on the biomechanics, we're looking at how you breathe. So are you a chest breather up here, or do you breathe lower down? Now I'm just outside of the camera there. So the way you breathe could also determine a little bit on how you move and what muscles you use. So what we need to do is sometimes just analyze how you breathe. So if you're breathing up a chest, what tendency that you have is to put the body in a bit more extended mode. So as you can see, that's going to affect me pretty much all the way down to my feet in there. So normally we would want to see kind of a more neutral position, but if I'm up a chest breather, I'm going to be up here like so. So different breathing mechanics can affect how you move. It might be affecting neck motion, could be affecting hips and hence legs and feet as well. So the breathing becomes pretty important as well. The other thing is how the ribs expand and contract. Now if you have a problem breathing in, it's usually because you've got a bigger problem breathing out. So if I breathe in and then try and get another breath in, we kind of see the problem as getting more air in, but usually what we see is that you haven't been able to really get the air out of that first breath. So this might be another application we look at, is how well you can breathe out. The other aspects of breathing that we tend to look at could be the balance between carbon dioxide and oxygen. Now don't get me wrong, it's not a level balance, but you've got to have a balance where oxygen is going to be way up here and your carbon dioxide is going to be a lot lower, but it still needs to be a level where they work in line with each other. And we tend to find that a lot of people will overbreathe, so maybe their breathing will be a little bit shorter and faster, or you're trying to gasp that big breath in to try and get more oxygen in, and that can cause an imbalance. We call it more hyperventilation, and on this breathing it can affect you health wise. So the big thing that we often see nowadays is a lot of stress and a lot of people not sleeping well. So some of that can be due to the way you're breathing, that can affect both of them. So what we need to do then is look at changing with exercises, with breathing exercises, the way you breathe, the way the mechanics are. So that's two aspects of the breathing that we look at. The other one is perhaps what we could call it mental. You could call it the effect on the nervous system to try and relax you down. Yeah. So if we can get a good breath out, we can usually relax more than if we're kind of breathing shorter, sharp breaths in. Relaxation is just as much as important as being able to get up and go as well. The more you can relax, the better off you feel the next day. So getting a good breath out and slowing down the breathing is going to affect the vagus nerve and the mind. And people talk about trying to breathe 6 breaths a minute. Now if you're up at 15, 16, 20 breaths a minute to start with, then trying to slow down is not a good option really. So we try and do that in stages, so some people will be closer to that maybe on their normal breathing, but a lot of people we see that hyperventilate are going to have a high rate of breathing, and it's always difficult for them to get them to relax down for a while. Some people can do it in a few weeks, a month, some people might take a lot longer. So it all depends on the individual. And the other aspect we look at is the muscles around the ribs. Now we know you've got your diaphragm there, but we've also got your breathing muscles apart from that, so your obliques, intercostals on that side. So are these working efficiently? So if we've got a problem with a few of the muscles, it still might be hard to take a breath in and take a breath out. So sometimes we can blame it onto not getting enough air in, but if the muscles aren't working very well on the front and the side or on the back, then it can affect on how we breathe as well. So people that are struggling to breathe well sometimes might need some more biomechanical help to try and assist their muscles function better, and then they're able to breathe easier and progress on the breathing as well. So there's some of the different aspects that we tend to look at. Now when we look at the diaphragm, we've got a different sort of larger diaphragm on the right side than we have to the left. So this is important because it will direct us slightly to the right hand side. So it's the same for everyone really. So we've got also a liver on the right, and we've got 3 lobes of lung on the right, where we've only got 2 lobes on the left. So we're always kind of fighting that kind of torsional position that we need to try and pull back sometimes with the action of the left side and different muscles on there. So tendency over a period of time might be that a right side's working better with the left in certain instances. Now we're always going to be what we'd call asymmetrical, so we're never going to be completely balanced, so one side always going to be working slightly different to the other side. So hopefully that's given you a few ideas on the reasons we do our breathing. We said that it could affect the neck, said that it could affect lower back, it can affect legs. A lot of it is in the research. So the way you breathe could cause you neck tension. So if I'm breathing up here, every time I breathe, then I'm going to be using these muscles up here probably 20-25,000 times a day, as much as that, just depends on the individual, and that's really going to overwork their muscles. Where if I can do a lower breath out here, you tend to find it will keep the shoulders more relaxed. So the way we breathe can affect neck tension. Same with lower back. If I'm breathing up here in chest breathing, you might find that I'm extending or putting a curve on the spine as I do that, so then it's affecting how my lower back works. So lots of different reasons to look at the breathing. The trouble is it takes a little bit of work to improve the breath, and really you want to be doing some daily practice on there. So we incorporate it in our classes, but we also see that a lot in our rehab that we do. Sometimes we get people in just for breathing practice to help them on there, so people suffering with some breathing conditions we can help with. But also what you tend to see, like if someone comes along with a knee problem or a shoulder problem and we start focusing on the breathing, can be a little bit confusing why we'd actually want to look at the breathing mechanics on there. So breathing can affect flexibility. So if I'm a chest breather up here and it's changed my position, you might find that my arm won't come down in this position here, but if I bring down my ribs, then I will have a lot more motion. So it seemingly affects like flexibility as well. So getting that breathing right can be a big issue for like shoulder problems. The other thing to look at is how you lift. So if you're in the gym and you want to lift heavy weights, you know, we see a lot of people come into us, and as soon as they go to do a deadlift, they're breathing in here and they've already kind of put their energy up here instead of lower down. So, you know, we can't say that you're going to get injured at all, but what we might say is that it might change the dynamics of your lift, and it might affect you being able to lift heavier. So there's a lot of different reasons to look at different aspects of breathing. So hopefully that's helped you today, and look forward to seeing you on our next talk.